It was 1 year ago today that 17 young lives were lost in the senseless shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, which left a community and a nation shaken by this tragedy. And since then, young people are still dying from gun violence. In the past 12 months alone, nearly 1,200 teens and kids across the U.S. have died due to homicides, domestic violence, and accidental shootings. The Trace, which is a nonprofit dedicated to shining a light on gun violence, you know it, we use the data all the time and highlight their work every week here. Well, they assembled a team of 200 student journalists to research and write the stories of every single victim, 18 years old and under, to ensure that the people behind these statistics would not be forgotten. Joining me now is Akoto Ofori-Atta, the SinceParkland.org project director and managing editor of The Trace. Akoto, these stories are heart-wrenching. This week, Trace and the Miami Herald teamed together and you launched Since Parkland. Help us understand how this project came together and what you learned.
Sure. Well, Since Parkland came about because after the shooting last year, we realized that the national gun debate had been centering around young people and their voices. And we felt as a nonprofit covering gun violence, we needed to meet that moment. And young people at the center of the movement had really chided the press for only covering mass shootings and not going beyond that. And at The Trace, that's something we do every day, make sure that people know the full scope of the issue. And so, we thought that it was important to ask students to join us in that effort to continue to show the full scope of gun violence in the country.
But why do that? Why bring in teenage reporters to tell the story? And how hard was that for them?
We brought them in because it's their story to tell. I mean, you could argue that there is no generation that's had to contend with this issue the way that young people today have had to contend with it. If you are a young person living in St. Louis or Detroit, you are making decisions every day about your safety as you go to school, as you go hang out with friends. If you are a young person that goes to a public school in this country, it's likely that you've had to practice for a lockdown, or even worse, actually experience one, an actual one. And so we felt like it was their story to tell and their perspective was needed.
Was there a story that you told that stuck out to you? I mean, each story more tragic than the one before, but was there one that just sticks with you? Sure,
yeah. There was a young man named Amir Cobb out in Pennsylvania who had run away, and he had been estranged from his father, who was a fire chief in the town. And his father was responding to a call of a homicide, and when he got there, it was his son who he hadn't seen in 2 months. And, the way that the young journalists so tenderly rendered that story, it just reminds us that, these kids who have died every day since Parkland, they were loved, they had full, complex lives, and they were cut down so soon.
In the last year, youth activism, especially on the heels of Parkland, how much has that changed the debate around gun violence? I mean, those Parkland kids, I see them all the time out there fighting.
Mm-hmm. Shortly after the shooting, we actually did an analysis of how Parkland had sort of changed the conversation. And the young activists at the center of the debate were able to sustain the Parkland shooting in the news and kept it alive in many of our minds, more so than other shootings had done in the past. So they really did sort of keep the story alive, keep it focused on the youngest victims of this crisis, and they made sure that people were aware.
This is what I don't get. As I said, we use your data every week. And every week when I go through the numbers of gun-related deaths, my mind is blown that more hasn't been done. There was just a recent Reuters poll, and in it they find that 55% of Americans want tougher gun laws. Only 10% say the U.S. should make it easier to buy guns. I mean, we're starting to see smidges of changes in Congress. There was a first hearing for gun violence just last week. That's the first since 2007. But why is it that lawmakers have lagged so far behind when you compare that to public opinion?
That's unclear. It's hard to say. One of the things that the student reporters kept sharing with me throughout these past few months is that, the politics to them was less important than telling the stories of these young victims, that the politics had sort of gotten in the way of and made us lose focus of what the country has lost collectively by allowing this crisis to continue and move forward.
It's not about politics. It's about safety and lives. Thank you so much for joining me. Look it up, sinceparkland.org. It's important, it's beautiful, and it's painful.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.